was one comment you made at SIM-PAC Live Queensland, which I'd like to pick up on. And you said that Australia was leading the way in solar technologies, but we're also leading the way in battery technologies. And that raised my eyebrow, because I think that we've all read the media that China owns all the battery technology and China owns all the battery manufacturing.
Yeah.
And Australia has no manufacturing left. I mean, we've discussed that a little bit, but we're actually leading the way in some of this battery technology. I mean, there's you, and there's another Queensland company down the road that we had speak, straight after you, and Leaf in here from LIS Energy,
the most dense battery, in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's two world leading battery manufacturers in Queensland.
Yeah.
An hour down the road from each other.
Then you've got the vanadium flow battery, right, which is all developed in New South Wales, and there's a number of vanadium flow battery companies that are developing them in Queensland. If you haven't had them on, you should have them on. They're awesome as well. And vanadium flow is the future for large grid for sure. And lich grid, and which is what we need for renewables. Renewables it needs grid capacity. It needs long lasting, low cost over time batteries that can take really reliable battery charges, and then in really hot temperature, because let's face it, the world isn't sitting at 25 degrees C, which is what lithium ion needs for basically forever. It isn't sitting like that. And most of it is more than that or less than that, and lithium ion batteries don't like that. So you've got to spend a lot of time and effort managing the heat on them. So yes, Australia is leading the world. I mean, we arguably got the fastest charging battery out there, although in development. And I think LAS has got the most energy dense battery in development out there.
Yeah, the lightest battery for its energy.
So there you go. But then there's countless other types of companies that you've got through your organisation that are also doing pack development and virtual power plant kind of selling to grid, and also cell technology, charging structures, and it's quite simply amazing what's out there. And there's been almost no kind of understanding, I think, really that's the case in kind of broad community. It's interesting because the Chinese definitely are the largest producer of batteries by far, lithium-ion batteries by far. 90% or so, the whole value chain really. And most of it comes from Australia, Western Australia, minerals, or half of it does anyway. And then it goes through Chinese processing into a cell, which then eventually gets to someone's car or phone or laptop, and we then go buy it and use it. So it's this big circular, and that's okay. I think that's fine. That's good. We got to know our place, but we are absolutely leading the world in how to make disruptive battery technologies. But the mainland Chinese companies like CATL and those, they didn't invent these batteries. They made them better. But the first lithium, manganese, nickel, cobalt batteries were invented at Oxford. And we actually worked with the guys, and they invented it, and they got nothing out of it. They've said this to themselves. It sounds bad, but so Sony went and used it and used it in the camcorder, as the story goes, and they were the first to use the lithium-ion battery. And then lithium iron phosphate, which is the main battery we all see in all the batteries cars now, Teslas and all them, that was developed by an American company. And then that they went into solvency problems, and then a Chinese company bought it and scaled it. And so that's why they are the number one producer, because they took that risk and scaled it. And obviously manufacturing costs there are lower, but these are largely made by robots.
Automation
there.
Yeah.
And so, that could have, I mean, not that it could have happened anywhere. I think the way Chinese, mainland Chinese, supports technology and development is amazing, right? So that's another reason why it happened there. But that arguably could have happened anywhere, but it happened there because they supported the technology, they rolled it out, they had government frameworks. They wanted to try to remove from what I understand, they want to try to remove the smog from buses And that was
Yes.
one of the biggest things I wanted to do was to move to the electric vehicle buses, and that's where it started. So it was completely self-driven by trying to create a cleaner environment for themselves. So, I think there's a lot of unknowns or misinterpretations of where we are now and why we got there. Any company that can work in this space, it's a highly democratized technology. This battery technology has got a lot of things left in it. It's nowhere near done. We're nowhere near as efficient as fuel and as liquid fuels, as we were saying before. And there are many elements to the battery development and supply chain. But right now, Chinese lithium-ion batteries absolutely are very dominant. They got now a plant that's running with AI. So the AI actually runs the battery plant. So they're away, and you don't really want to come head on with that. That's an amazing machine. So really, I think Australian technologies to add on or be to the different side of a market or add different technologies which are different to the focus. That's what GMG is doing, and certainly LAS and many others are doing. And there's a massive space for that. It's just huge. It's unbelievably massive, the space that's sitting beside lithium-ion batteries right now.